Well, hello everyone. It's Sunday, the best day of the week. Well, it's been a nice, calm, quiet Sunday, so I'm getting to my video late this week, today. Actually, it's almost bedtime, but I figured I'd get this out. I'm trying very hard to get one out every week. So, keep your fingers crossed. Pray for me that we get there. Okay. Well, today was a very nice day, a very calm day. If you pray, keep my wife in prayer. She's still under the weather. She's fighting, she gets these allergy attacks every once in a while, and it puts her down for a few days. She's struggling with this one, so just keep her in your prayers. So we usually take our mother-in-law with us to church. Well, with Sonda not going, wasn't sure what to do. Like, my mother-in-law and me are like each other, but sometimes we just disagree. And, that's the way most people are. Well, and mind you, I am quite proud of my mother-in-law. She has been a widow now, come this year, 5 years, and she has took hold of things, and she goes to dialysis 3 times a week, and with having a caregiver, she is able to function pretty well in her own home. There's always those things that she won't be able to take care of, but with her caregiver, she gets a lot of it done, and she's learned to do her own groceries on the computer, and text and all. So she has just been determined. She can't do it. He's no longer here, so she's just got to make it happen, and she is. So, very proud of her. So, anyhow, I don't know why I went through that whole long thing, but I did. Anyhow, I wasn't sure about going to, bringing her to church, and then I thought, well, who am I to say who can go to church and who can't go to church? So, God laid that on my heart, and picked her up, and we went to church, and we had a good day. It was a nice time. So if you're watching, thank you for the nice day. It was very nice. And so it's just been a very calm, quiet, going on day. And but it was quite funny, though. We went to eat, and when you get 2 people that wear hearing aids that have trouble hearing, sometimes you get on to some pretty funny stories. I was talking about a stadium, a field that's by the one school here in where we live, and she was trying to picture it, and I asked her a question about it because she's lived here all her life, and here we find out, after about 5 minutes of speaking about the area, that I was talking about a soccer field, and she thought I said funeral home. So all this time, she was trying to figure out what funeral home I was talking about. Ugh, tell you, it was funny. Well, anyhow, any one of you that has trouble hearing understands. So, all right. Well, I was thinking, I have a list here. I don't know if you can see it on my wonderful wrinkled paper. I'll try to move that up there a little better. I have a list made because the stories that I'm telling you, I have decided to start writing them down. So when I go to write my book, I know what to write about because this triggers my mind and happy memories and things like that. But I was thinking about what could I talk about today? So, before I go on, let me tell you about the Carter Jungle. The backyard that I mowed last week looks like I've never touched it. We've had rain a couple days this week. Looks like I haven't even touched it. Not fair. Not fair. Not starting off good. Anyhow, okay, so that's the update on the jungle. So I thought about it. I'm like, well, I'm talking about Arkansas. And I'm telling you, you look back at it and it was a good time. I think one of the best times of my life because it was just so much fun and ministry at the same time. I had never attended a gospel singing before. And it was almost every week there was a gospel singing. And it was just members from different churches in the area. They would come and they would sing. And it was just really nice. I really enjoyed that. And but that's not the story I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the donut shop and Big Grandma. Okay. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but you'll get the picture. We lived in this house, which was not in a good part of town, okay? And, but you know what? We lived there 2 years, and it was the best little area. We never had any trouble there. But we did have the donut shop for a while, and then we had Big Grandma. Well, the donut shop, when we started going to church there at Pine Grove, some of the members would go out Saturday morning, just maybe once a month or so, and go to this donut shop that was there on Hazel Street, the street we lived by. And we go to this donut shop, and the first time we went, I'm telling you, this stuff is just too good to be true, I think, sometimes. As I look back at it, we go into this donut shop. We sit down, and, we're still kind of a little nervous. We're getting to know everyone, and they're getting to know us, and we sit down, and we were eating our donuts and just talking and everything. Well, I got up, okay, and I was going to refill my fountain drink. And I asked Sonda, my wife, if she wanted a refill while I was up there, if I could fill hers up. And so I did. And we came back, and I gave her drink. And he's a gentleman that sat right across from us. I'm going to call him Danny because I don't remember his real name. And anyhow, he said that, how do you put that? That she should have got up to get me a drink, something like that. And my wife, I just out of the blue, okay, my wife is very, well, people think real conservative, proper, and well, let me tell you, she can handle her own. She just looked at that guy and said, I'd be careful. If I was your wife, you wouldn't have any teeth right now. I was like, wow. I never heard that from my wife before. And I'm like, Mayday, Mayday. Because this guy's big. And I thought, oh man, I'm going to have to go out. I'm going to have to fight this guy. And I'm like, he's our Sunday school teacher. And I mean, it just fired her off. And everyone got real quiet because they knew she was serious. She was not a happy camper. And when we got in the car to go home, I asked her, why she got so upset. And, it made sense. I never thought about it till she said that he was our Sunday school teacher. And she's like, and he's sitting there talking about women like that. I'm like, oh, yeah. Because the whole incident, it happened so fast that I didn't put it all together. All I thought was looking at my wife and looking at him, and I'm thinking, he doesn't look happy. She doesn't look happy. I know we're going to have to go outside. But no, we didn't. It all worked out, and we all just kind of finished up our donuts and went our own ways. But yeah, that was the donut shop incident. That was definitely one of the things. And some of these things seem trivial or don't even play in today's world, but back then it did. It seems like it's been so long ago, and it hasn't been. Well, you know how it is in your own mind. It's not, but it has been. Well, she just, one day at church, I got cornered in a pew. It was a couple of the gentlemen from the church, and I thought, oh, they're like, we need to talk to you. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's wrong? What did we do? And we see you open the car door for your wife. I'm like, yes. And the one guy said, well, that's a problem. I'm like, it is. He's like, you need to stop that or our wives will expect the same. And I just started laughing. They started laughing. We had a good time. That just shows you the community that we had with each other. And Big Grandma. Well, let me tell you about Big Grandma. That's what I called her, because there was a few reasons why. Her physical appearance, she was short and very round, and but she had the command to go with it, the command appearance, if that makes any sense. Like, you knew she was the one that ruled the family. Well, now I told you, we lived in a neighborhood that was not the best of neighborhoods when we moved in. And there was a lot of crime and things, but I mean, no one ever bothered us. We just went along our way and they did their thing, and there you go. Well, I was mowing the yard with our new lawnmower. That's the first time, by the way, I had a lawnmower that I bought, and I bought it at Walmart in a box. It was the cheapest one they had. And we got it home, took it out of the box, and had to hook the handle and all that stuff. I used that thing for 6 years before it finally gave out. Then I had another, but anyhow, back to the story. So I'm out there mowing my yard, and all of a sudden I see a car that Grandma lived across the street and one house over from us. So it was kind of like we were diagonal. But this, oh my goodness, here we are. And this car pulls up, music banging. And this girl comes out of the house, young lady, and he gets out, a gentleman gets out of this car, And he starts yelling and screaming at this girl, and Grandma came out. Now, I'm watching all this with the lawnmower in my hands, trying not to make eye contact as I'm mowing, but it's hard, you can't miss it. Well, all of a sudden, Grandma, she whipped open that door, grabbed a hold of the girl, threw her in the house, and told that gentleman he needed to go now because she was calling the police. And he took off. She told him, get in your car and you go to I'm going to call the police if you don't. And she went in the house, slammed the door, and you could hear her yelling across the hall at the girl. And my wife, she looked out the window. She said, everything okay? I'm like, oh yes, nothing's wrong. And just kept on mowing like nothing ever happened. And it was like that the whole time, never dull. There was always something going on. And there was this one dear old lady, I don't know, she's probably gone now, but she was big. And she had a cane. And I mean, just a few steps and this lady was sweating. And she tried. At first, it was just a few, like half the block. Then she started walking the full block. Then she started walking around the block. By the time we had left, she was faithful. She did it every day. She got to the point she wasn't even using the cane anymore. And she had dropped a lot of weight. And I tell you that for a simple fact is, my wife, when she had our son, she was getting him out of the car seat. And she seen my wife getting the baby out. She looked in and she said, do you have a baby? May I see it? My wife said, why, yes. She says, well, my goodness, you had a baby. She says, I thought you were just getting fat. And she got along with my wife, acquaintance, and they talked when she would go by if my wife was out. But you know, that really changed the dynamics on that street. Once she knew we had a baby, she must have knew everybody on that street probably, because by 9 o'clock, dead silent on our street till in the morning. So everyone kind of knew us, but stayed to their own places. And it worked out that way. It was really nice. And we had a gentleman that would come around, an older guy, about once a week, knock on the door, you know, is there anything you need done, treat, you know, he a good man. So that was just some of the adventures we went through there in Arkansas, and all the good times we had there. And remind me to tell you the one about the house. Whatever happened with the house? So that we moved into. And we'll get to that another time. But just remember, keep praying, pray for our country. You know, there's things that are going on in our country, and we might not like who's in office. Still pray for that person. You know, there's people you like, and there will be people you don't like. And that's what makes our country great, because we manage to make it work. We have soldiers right now. You might think we're in there for over there, and we should be there, or there's some of you that think we should not. This isn't political. It's just that, as someone I heard say, it's our country, we pray for it, good or bad. You know, that's the way it is. That's what's made our country. And you know something that, if you really think about it, our country, this is how important our country is. How many No King rallies have there been? And they have stretched all the way across our country. And I don't know how many thousands of people participated in those protests. Look at all those protests and the peace that there was. There was not violent rioting all the way across our country. There was none of that. I mean, what country can you go to where there is protesting, but it's peaceful? Now, you do have, now we see one person had made the decision that they did and caused that whole thing to happen last night. This is what makes our country great, is we can come together. Even though we might not agree with each other, we still come together. We're only here for a little bit anyhow, until we go home to be with God. But that's the main thing, you know. It's what we're built on. And we come from all ends and we come together. All right. So I guess that's it. I better get off of this. I've been on it for a while. But yes, I'm going to go. And remember, pray for one another. You never know. Might change you. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.